Imagine being homeless with your young son. No home, no money, nowhere to go. Yet every morning, you put on a suit, hold your child's hand, and walk into the office as if everything is fine. This isn't a movie scene. It's the real life of Chris Gardner, the man whose story inspired the pursuit of happiness. Chris Gardner was born in 1954, raised in Milwaukee. His childhood was filled with chaos, an abusive stepfather, poverty, and instability. He didn't grow up with wealth, connections, or safety. Yet even as a boy, Gardner promised himself one thing: my future will not look like my past. That promise became the fire that drove him forward. In the early 1980s, Chris moved to San Francisco trying to build a better life. He sold medical equipment but struggled to make ends meet. One day he saw a man step out of a bright red Ferrari. Curious, Gardner asked, "What do you do for a living?" The man replied, "I'm a stockbroker." At that moment, Gardner knew, this is my path. But there was a problem. He had no college degree, no financial background, and no money. Still, Gardner hustled his way into an unpaid internship at Dean Witter Reynolds. It was his shot, but it came at the worst possible time. Gardner's girlfriend left him, and he suddenly became a single father with custody of his young son, Christopher Jr. With no salary and bills piling up, he lost his apartment. Father and son ended up sleeping in motels, train stations, even public restrooms. Picture this: Chris holding the door shut with his foot so no one would come in, while his son slept in his arms on the bathroom floor. Most people would have given up, but Chris never did. He kept showing up to work every single day, on time, in a clean suit, determined to win one of the few full-time positions at the firm. Gardner worked harder than anyone else, since he didn't have money for lunch. He used those extra minutes to make more cold calls than his peers. He studied at night after putting his son to sleep. He refused to let his circumstances break him. Finally, after 6 months of brutal struggle, his effort paid off. Chris Gardner was offered the job. That moment when he shook hands and secured his position wasn't just about money. It was about dignity. It was about proving that no matter how dark life gets, the human spirit can rise. Gardner didn't stop there. He went on to start his own brokerage firm, Gardner Rich & Company. Within a few years, he became a millionaire. But what makes his story even more powerful is this: he never forgot the nights he and his son spent homeless. Chris dedicated his life to philanthropy, helping the homeless and supporting organizations that give people second chances. Chris Gardner's story isn't about luck. It's about resilience, faith, and refusing to give up no matter how unfair life seems. His words sum it up perfectly. You got a dream, you got to protect it. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something, not even me. From sleeping in bathrooms to building a multi-million-dollar empire, Chris Gardner reminds us that success is not about where you start, it's about how far you're willing to fight for your dream. His story is living proof of the real pursuit of happiness,